Lomachenko, interested in that fight? November,
For
as we
sure.
talked about?
Yeah, for sure. As long as we go back to the drawing board and I wanted to fight all of them.
Gervonta Davis has just issued a brutal warning as he reacted to Vasyl Lomachenko's training footage. Meanwhile, it appears that Teofimo Lopez is returning to Davis's radar. It's widely recognized that Davis and Lopez have a shared history dating back to their amateur boxing days. According to The Takeover, a person ultimately pays, not only with their soul, but also sacrifices many other things. Teofimo Lopez provided several real-life examples to illustrate this point. He said, "I've seen it with other fighters. I've seen it with other people that I grew up with, and the amateurs, Tank, and them, and it's sad to see how they've turned around, but I get it. Part of me thinks about it like, yeah, you've struggled, but you kind of quit when it got really, really hard." From leaked sparring footage to rumored fight arrangements, much has transpired between these two fighters. Despite being in the same weight class for a significant period, their rivalry has largely consisted of mere shadowboxing. It's unclear if the latest outburst is part of the Takeover's strategy to capture Tank's attention, or if he's laying the groundwork for a lucrative future fight. We know that the list of contenders vying for a shot at Gervonta Davis is growing rapidly. But Teofimo Lopez has disclosed that, following a conversation with Isaac Pitbull Cruz's team, a rematch between Davis and Cruz is in the works. Since October of last year, Cruz's manager, Sean Gibbons, has been confidently discussing a potential rematch. He even suggested that PBC and Al Heyman were working to arrange Isaac Cruz versus Gervonta Davis 2 as a post-Christmas surprise. However, the match did not materialize. Nonetheless, after Pitbull won the WBA super lightweight title by defeating Rolando Romero, interest in the Mexican boxer surged once more. Among those eager to challenge Cruz was Teofimo Lopez. Lopez, aiming to unify the 140-pound championship, discussed reaching out to Cruz's camp regarding a possible future bout. "I got to educate y'all on this. I tried to fight Isaac Cruz, and I spoke to his manager," started Teofimo Lopez. But did Team Cruz accept Lopez's offer? Sean Gibbons said, "Not yet. We just got the belt, champ. We gotta go and try to focus on a Gervonta Davis rematch." He continued. Lopez added with conviction, "So, y'all gonna see that very soon, by the way. I'm saying it like it is. I'm not sorry." In light of this, it is important to note that Sean Gibbons recently stated that there is a good possibility Isaac Cruz and Gervonta Davis may share the championship this year. Sean Gibbons noted a surge in support for Cruz after his 8th-round victory over Romero, suggesting that a rematch with Gervonta Davis shouldn't be delayed, especially with Davis potentially squaring off against Vasyl Lomachenko in 4 months. Gibbons said, "We're not chasing Tank now that we have the belt, but everywhere we go, everyone wants to know when we're fighting Gervonta Davis. He's ready to fight, and the fans are ready to see him again. December is perfect." On the other hand, Tank has recently expressed doubts and shows reluctance towards competing in Saudi Arabia. Davis clinched a decisive win against Frank Martin at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas not long ago. Nevertheless, his interest in Saudi Arabia's emerging league remains tepid. When questioned about His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, Davis didn't mince his words. "If he feels like he got the power because he got the cash, so it's like, let me shit on everybody else," Davis remarked. He also criticized the potential sidelining of promoters, saying, "It's somewhat good, I would say, for the sport, but I don't know. So you want to kick everybody out, all the promoters? That's crazy." When Davis demanded luxury cars in exchange for a fight in Saudi Arabia, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh responded, setting off a chain of events that intensified the drama. "If they want me, they gotta send me something, like 2 Ferraris," Davis had tweeted. Al-Sheikh didn't mince words in his reply on Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour show, saying, "I heard what Davis said. I said to him, we will send you 2 gloves if you want. That's it." Clearly not impressed, Davis responded with remarks of his own, saying he doesn't need Saudi Arabia to promote fights. Meanwhile, as Gervonta Davis clinched victory over Frank Martin, he said, "Just a little crusty, little rusty." After a hiatus lasting 14 months, Tank unleashed a devastating left uppercut in the corner that floored his opponent. Moments later, Martin was knocked out cold, drawing cheers from the crowd as Davis celebrated with a stylish backflip. However, rumors abound about disappointing PPV sales for the bout. Can these reports be verified? Boxing insider Rick Glazer shared this and explained what Tank should do next. He explained on X, "If Tank Davis faces anyone other than Loma next, that'll be what in this era is called ducking. That needs no other explanation. You'll see when the PPV number comes out, Tank needs a well-known dance partner to sell PPV going forward, like he did with Ryan Garcia. That's reality." However, there's a snag in this situation. Just recently in Perth, Australia, Vasyl Lomachenko faced off against George Kambosos Jr. and secured a decisive victory with an 11th round knockout. Immediately after this match, Davis issued a challenge to Lomachenko, which the Ukrainian promptly accepted. The real question now is, what makes Glazer believe that Tank Davis requires Lomachenko, when a supporter defended Davis by proposing that Tank exclusively battles top-tier opponents and could draw huge crowds and pay-per-view buys with a rematch against Rolly Romero? Glazer countered, stating that the Davis versus Martin bout didn't do 200,000 PPV buys. It's important to note that the exact PPV figures for the fight have not been disclosed at the time of this production, so Glazer's assertion remains speculative at best. In a recent interview, Davis expressed interest in facing Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson, and Pitbull Cruz, stating, "All of those guys are on my radar. Whether a bout with Lomachenko materializes remains uncertain, while Ryan Garcia is actively pursuing a rematch with Davis to redeem his earlier knockout defeat." Following an action-packed bout on Saturday evening, Ryan Garcia joined Davis in the ring to extend his congratulations and share a heartfelt moment. Garcia sported a bold "Rematch Me" t-shirt, adding a playful twist to the occasion. Davis later discussed their exchange during the post-fight press conference, offering insights into their conversation. When one of the reporters in the crowd brought it up, Davis said, "He's crazy." Elaborating on his point, Davis explained, "He's crazy talking about rematch. He said I was the best at 135 to 142. He said that. He said he wants to fight me again. I'll kick his again." Ryan Garcia also took shots at Davis on social media, writing, "I will hurt this guy on my mama." Having said that, it's unclear what Gervonta Davis will do next, but it makes the most sense to fight Vasyl Lomachenko. Fans will get to watch a brand new rivalry between the combatants and a new matchup for the fighters.
Tank Davis has called you out over social media, mate. Your response to that?
One more time, please.
Tank Davis
Tank Davis called.
called out Loma on social media.
Oh, he called Loma on social media. Well,
That's easy to do, right? Social media, I can call out Mike Tyson.
the question would be asking a pregnant woman who just gave a birth, would you like to have another child?
Yeah, right.
Moreover, Shakur Stevenson believes Lomachenko still has a chance against Gervonta Davis. Tank is ready to enter her prime, while Vasyl Lomachenko is nearing the end of his. Furthermore, Shakur Stevenson believes it's important to emphasize Lomachenko's background and intelligence level as a boxer. As the two-time Olympic gold medalist is 35, Shakur feels only 1 or 2 fights are left in his career probably. For the same reason, he feels that the time is now if Davis and Loma are going to share the ring. But Shakur's prediction about the outcome of the fight, the Newark boxer expressed confidence in saying, "I still think with Lomachenko's skills and stuff, it will still be a good fight," during his most recent interview on Fight Hype. Shakur added, "I don't think that Lomachenko is a pushover even though he is older. With the experience he's got and the knowledge, I think it could be a tremendous fight. But there's one thing that Lomachenko needs to have. Gervonta Davis has demonstrated to us all his incredible throwing and landing power." Shakur believes that if Loma can withstand Davis's blows, he might be able to defeat Tank. Shakur concluded, "All is going to boil down to can Lomachenko have punch resistance to what Tank is throwing?" On the other hand, Tank's co-trainer Kenny Ellis shared a post about Vasyl Lomachenko, saying, "Studying Lomachenko. Why all of a sudden these Lomachenko highlight videos are popping up? Are they supposed to be intimidating or something? He won't see the 12th round with Gervonta Davis." Judging by this post from Tank's coach, we can say that he kind of confirmed this bout. In doing so, he also brutally warned Lomachenko about what lies ahead for him. On that point, Shakur Stevenson broke his silence, recently following a rebuke from Kenny Ellis. After meeting Shakur Stevenson's uncle Coach Dirt on Mill City Boxing, Kenny Ellis promoted Shakur versus Davis. "If they don't fight within 2025, they should never fight," said Ellis. They had to fight within a year because Kenny Ellis thought Davis and Stevenson were the best in the business, possessing excellent amateur histories and enough experience. But can Ellis's words control the outcome? Shakur has brought up the same query. Ellis urged Davis versus Shakur to take place in 2025, but Coach Dirt thought the bout could wait a little longer. In a similar vein, Stevenson did not exhibit the same level of urgency as Coach Ellis, despite his desire to recreate the Roberto Duran versus Sugar Ray Leonard matchup with Davis. Kenny could go out there and say a whole bunch of things. El Shakur began, talking to Jeff Zimmerman from Fight Hype. "I like Coach Kenny because he's like a coach who analyzes things. He's watching. I respect what he's saying, but he doesn't really have any power or control." Over the situation of Tank, added Shakur Stevenson, politely unmatching Ellis's excitement for the time being. Stevenson concluded, "Tank is on his own business. Tank runs his own business alongside Al Heyman. So, So, these decisions basically come down to whatever Tank says, not what Coach Kenny says. So, we'll find out. Coach Dirt gave an explanation of what was preventing Davis versus Shakur from happening right now. Kenny Ellis boldly stated on Mill City Boxing that boxing fans desired to see Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Davis. To be honest, even though there is a lot of interest in Davis versus Shakur, some people believe that Vasyl Lomachenko should fight Gervonta Davis in the ring. Shakur Stevenson acknowledged that a tremendous battle between Loma and Tank might occur, but given the current situation, it might take some time before Davis and Shakur confront each other, even after the altercation in Loma. And under what conditions are those circumstances? Coach Dirt said, too many hungry, greedy motherfuckers be in the way. A lot of goofiness that goes on politically. However, if the fight materializes, we are looking forward to it. On the other hand, Timothy Bradley believes it is a fact that Loma has been observing Tank for a long time. The Ukrainian's age and potential battle fatigue are disadvantages. He went on to say that Davis would not simply catch Lomachenko and knock him out because the man is intelligent. According to Bradley, it will be difficult for the native of Baltimore. According to the former welterweight champion, the odds are 50-50. While mapping out Davis's way to defeat Loma, Bradley stated, I think Tank can win this fight and knock him out, and there's certain ways he can do it. I think he gotta get Loma on his back foot, man. He gotta keep him resetting, you know. He gets him on his back foot when he's out of position. You know, Bradley believes that in order for Gervonta Davis to find a hole in his high guard posture, he must constantly reset while focusing on Loma's body. He attacked that body. Loma has that high guard too. He uses it as well. Short arms, a lot of body exposure for Tank to be able to take advantage of and hit him hard and hurt him, advised Bradley. The 40-year-old thinks that in order to ensure victory, Tank will take Loma by surprise and cause serious injury. Bradley also believes that since Lomachenko, at 36, is much more experienced with a higher number of amateur fights, Davis would need to catch him and hurt him in order to cement his victory. Bob Arum recently stated in an interview that he would be interested in setting up a bout between Vasyl Lomachenko and Gervonta Davis. He said, we're up for that fight. Lomachenko's up for that. When we sit down, we will see if it's feasible, but Lomachenko would like to do that fight. Continuing, Arum revealed, Carl Moretti has been talking to Louis DeCubas for a couple of weeks now. Hopefully, we'll put it together for sometime in November. Nobody is dragging anybody to the table. Both sides know it's a big fight, which means they're looking forward to earning a lot of money, and they're both competitive guys. Meanwhile, Stephen A. Smith isn't sure if he would like to see Lomachenko versus Davis compete. The veteran NBA expert wondered what opponents Tank may face next. By pointing out Lomachenko's flaws, Smith ultimately offered an explanation for his belief that the Ukrainian would find it difficult to defeat Davis. In boxing, a highly anticipated bout is between Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis. Stephen A. Smith thinks Davis would probably outclass Haney, given that Ryan Garcia took Haney to the canvas 3 times during their bout. Although Smith believes Vasyl Lomachenko is a talented fighter, the 2-time Olympic gold medalist is too little to compete against Davis. He thinks Gervonta Davis is an expert at getting inside his opponent's head. The Baltimore fighter can also hold his own in the ring and is tough. Thus, Stephen A. Smith continued, my attitude is nobody has a shot against Gervonta if you can't punch with power. He further said, that is not to say that Lomachenko can't punch with power, because we saw what he did to Kambosos, beat the shit out of him. But I'm saying to you, against Gervonta Davis, I don't know. The 56-year-old believes that a fight between the two would be really fascinating. Smith would worry that Lomachenko would be knocked out if the two fighters were to square up in the ring. Shortly later, the 56-year-old revealed which boxer would be the best fit to face Tank Davis. In addition, Stephen A. Smith contends that Lomachenko is too little and weak. Who then might be qualified to take on Gervonta Davis? Shakur Stevenson is that boxer, according to Smith. Smith believes that Stevenson, who is 5 feet 8 inches tall and has 10 knockouts in 21 fights, is the best contender. He said, Gervonta Davis is the #1 box office attraction. Who I want to see him against is Shakur Stevenson. Smith added, Shakur Stevenson, with all that noise made about him, deserves a shot. I want to see Gervonta Davis in the ring with somebody perceived as having enough power to put him on the canvas too. That's what I want to see. I don't think Lomachenko gives us that. I think Shakur Stevenson might. Tensions between Vasyl Lomachenko and Gervonta Davis have reportedly already started to build since the announcement of their fight. Oscar De La Hoya, meantime, has asked Tank to consent to a rematch with Ryan Garcia at a certain weight. He said, Ryan Garcia told me he can't do 140. He would want the fight at 143, 144. So if anyone wants to fight him, give me a call. At 144, we'll make the fight happen. Ryan Garcia has tested positive for anti-doping in the past, but he has lately been cited in public. Garcia gained notoriety over the weekend when he went into the ring to congratulate Davis on his victory over Frank Martin. He displayed his desire for a rematch by donning a t-shirt with 2 messages on it. It's unknown how long Garcia will be suspended at this point. However, Oscar De La Hoya, his promoter, has been talking up the prospect of a rematch. Oscar De La Hoya stated that King Rai is prepared to compete at his weight wait and urged Gervonta Davis to speak with his representative in order to convince him to agree to a rematch. He said, "But I have to sit down with Ryan, I have to sit down with his team and then come up with a plan. And then we go from there." Garcia was also commended by De La Hoya for his conduct, characterizing him as a superb marketing specialist. He emphasized how important it is to recognize Garcia's accomplishments, especially his deft use of social media, to draw opponents and encourage bouts. De La Hoya believes that more fighters like King Rai would improve boxing. He said, "He's mentioning Pitbull, he's mentioning Tank, he's mentioning O'Malley, Errol Spence, he's mentioning everybody, but that's the beauty of Ryan." In his 30 professional fights, Davis had now achieved his 28th knockout victory. Reflecting on his performance, he added, "The brick just finished it off. It's about staying focused and making sure my mind is on the goal." In the meantime, there are rumors that Tank will battle Shakur Stevenson, and Tank has stated that he is prepared for the fight, regardless of the opponent. Throughout his professional career, Davis has never lost and exudes unflinching confidence in his ability to overcome any opponent. Still, many boxing fans are excited to see him go up against a revitalized Ryan Garcia once more. Davis seems to have had enough of his own criticism and the chirping from Stevenson's camp. Tank said, "A lot of built up and I'm going to take it out on him." Tank. After faltering at first, Davis suddenly gained momentum and started throwing strong punches at Martin. Martin was sent hurtling to the mat with his left cross and uppercut in the 8th round. Davis has now triumphed over 28 opponents out of 30, establishing his supremacy in the lightweight class. Vasyl Lomachenko, the current IBF lightweight champion, or Shakur Stevenson, the WBC lightweight champion, are two possible opponents Davis, the WBA lightweight champion, is thinking about facing to unify the belts. In the past, Davis has indicated that he would be open to playing either of these opponents. Tank remarked, "You know how it would go. Everybody in this room knows how it would go. I guess it would be good for the sport if we fight." With just 10 knockouts in 21 fights, Stevenson, who is renowned for his cautious and defensive fighting style, has fared worse than Davis. Those who want to avoid another disappointment similar to Stevenson's matchup with Los Santos might not find this strategy appealing. This is something Davis may think about before agreeing to fight him. After Tank's last fight with Frank Martin, talks are moving forward because they have already started. Tank is thin and exhausted, probably from having so many responsibilities. He has been under a lot of stress for the past year as a result of his recent struggles. IBF lightweight champion Lomachenko will defend his championship in a widely anticipated fight if the Tank Lomachenko bout is successful.
I would say it's good as a professional fighter. Yes, it's good. You know what I mean? It's good for not really, but it's definitely good for the sport and for my legacy, for sure.
Bob Arum presents a strong argument for why fans would be more excited about a fight between Vasyl Lomachenko and Gervonta Davis than about Davis facing Shakur Stevenson. He criticizes Stevenson for his lackluster November battle against Edwin de Los Santos, implying that fans might not be excited about seeing him compete. According to Arum, there would be greater interest in a Davis-Lomachenko match than a Davis-Stevenson one. He suggests that if Davis is prepared and Lomachenko defeats Kambosos decisively, it might pave the way for a much anticipated bout. He also mentioned that they had stayed in touch with PBC the entire time. If Tank Davis defeated Frank on Saturday, they were going to talk again. The following week, he pointed out that Carl Moretti had already been in contact with Louis de Cubas for a few weeks and underlined that these discussions would not be the beginning of negotiations.
Which, I mean, he won very easily, but it was certainly not entertaining. But Shakur will get his opportunity. He's a terrific fighter. I don't know who can beat him, but again, all of these guys are really good. And so there'll be interesting fights down the line. But I think clearly right now, if Tank is available, Lomachenko having a good victory over Kambosos, that's the fight that everyone wants to see. Is we've been talking to the PBC people all along. So we'll absolutely resume conversations next week after this fight, assuming Tank is successful on Saturday. But again, it won't be like the start of negotiations. We've been talking, or Carl Moretti has been talking with Louis de Cubas for a couple of weeks now about that fight. and hopefully
Arum stated that by the end of November, he wanted to have it finished. He emphasized that it was a big fight with big profit potential and noted that neither side was being forced to bargain, given how aggressive both sides were. He expressed optimism about the negotiations, despite the usual uncertainties, citing PBC's and his own team's professionalism and believing they would reach a consensus. Meanwhile, Tank recently reacted to Lomachenko's leaked training footage ahead of their potential bout. Lomachenko, a two-time Olympic gold medalist who began his professional career in 2013, holds a notable record of 18 wins and 3 losses across 3 different weight divisions. Davis has earned championships in the super featherweight, lightweight, and super lightweight categories. Despite both starting their professional careers in 2013, Davis is notably 7 years younger than Lomachenko. Lomachenko demonstrated his skill against Kambosos, bouncing back after suffering his 3rd career loss to Devin Haney in May 2023. Davis, though, has stated that he wants to fight Lomachenko. The fact that Davis had previously opposed facing Lomachenko, a position that has obviously evolved in the wake of Lomachenko's recent victory, adds to the drama.
You just beat a really good southpaw, and both of the other champions in your division are southpaws, Lomachenko and Stevenson. Did Frank Martin prepare you for those fights?
No, I don't think so, because they all fight different. They all fight different. One a boxer, one try to stay in front of you. Frank was somewhat a boxer, but they why y'all laughing? No, but he was, you know what I mean? It's cool. They all fight different. You know what I mean? I approach every fight different, so I don't think it helped me for them guys.
Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.